Let's talk about it. What's up, buds? I'm Blake.
And I'm Kayroll. And we have a very special guest.
This is Blaze.
Me out. Blaze me out.
That's Blaze will be helping us with some of our reviews from now on. Yeah. Today we're going to talk about the Loki Touch. So the Loki Touch is a portable digital vaporizer, and the main feature of this is the touch screen.
Hence the name, Loki Touch.
Yeah, it's pretty intuitive, pretty straightforward, and it's pretty sleek as well. It's all black and rubberized, and it's a really nice looking unit right out of the box, and the functionality is great as well, so we'll get into that, but let's go over some of the key features of the Loki Touch first. The main key feature is that it has a ceramic heating oven.
Which is great because you know that there's no toxins when using ceramic, which is great because you don't want to inhale any sorts of toxins. That's very bad for your health. So Loki Touch is actually looking out for you.
Yeah, it's great that they've included the ceramic oven because the ceramic gives a pretty even heating temperature as well, which is nice for your vaporization.
Makes a very clean hit.
Yeah.
Very smooth hit.
Very smooth hit and not too harsh as well. Now, another key feature about this is that it has only a 30-second heat up time, which is great for such a small dry herb and wax vaporizer.
Another key thing I like about this Loki Touch is that it's got a 45-minute continuous battery life, which is great for the size of this thing.
Yeah, a lot of them will say, oh, it's got a 45-minute battery life, but continuous means as it's actually vaping. And the max temperature of this portable electronic vaporizer, the Loki Touch, is 440 degrees, so it gets pretty high up there for such a small portable vaporizer.
Yeah, we would recommend staying around 375, 385. That would maximize your flavor potential.
Yeah, if you keep it around 385 degrees Fahrenheit, that's where you get your optimal vaporization with this vaporizer and with most vaporizers, because that's kind of where you want it to be for dry herb. And if you're doing concentrates, maybe a little higher, but generally around that range is a good point. Another great feature about the Loki Touch, it has a high discharge lithium-ion battery, which basically means that even though it's small, it's still powerful enough to last you a day and to get you as many hits as you would want out of something with a chamber of this size. And I think it's only about 5 inches tall and 1.5 inches wide, so it's pretty portable.
The matte finish on this is completely discreet, and I love the way it feels, and you don't ever feel like it's going to slip out of your hand. It's got a great feel to it.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so the main feature of the Loki Touch is what the name itself implies, the fact that it is a touchscreen device. So let's get into some of the features of the touchscreen. Now, you'll notice in order to power it on, you simply click the main power button on the very top of the unit near the mouthpiece 3 quick times, and you'll see a nice bright Loki LED or OLED display there, and it's going to be a nice bright blue, and as soon as you turn it on, it starts heating up because it has the temperature memory as well in this device, which is a nice feature.
Yeah, because it always remembers what your last desired temperature was, so it goes right back to that as soon as you turn it on.
Yeah, so as you can see, it's already doing that once I powered it on, which again is only with 3 clicks of the main power button, and then you can cycle higher or lower heat with the plus and minus buttons, which again are touch screen on the device.
Which is cool because you can either hold the button, slide, or just simply press it.
Yeah, and you'll notice too it changes the increments. If you're pressing the plus or minus, it's going to go by 1, but then if you hold it down, it's going to go by 2 or more if you hold it down for a longer period of time. So it has various ways you can increase or decrease your temperature and get it to the desired temperature in a quick and sometimes fun way too, especially if you've already
you can slide it.
started using the product. Yeah, exactly. And it does have, I believe it's a 5-minute power or a low power mode or eco mode. I forget the exact term that they use for the Loki Touch, but basically a power saving mode so that it doesn't just waste all of the battery.
Basically the turn off feature on it. Yeah.
Yeah, like a sleep mode, if you will.
Yeah, that way it's not going off in your pocket or purse, ladies. I know that happens to us all the time.
And then the last thing you'll notice on this, you can actually see right here on the screen when you hold it horizontally, it's got the Fahrenheit and the battery. So it'll display right there in big letters and symbols what your temperature setting is if it's in Fahrenheit or Celsius, and you'll also see how charged the unit is as soon as you turn it on. Okay, so we've already talked about how to turn the unit on. We've talked about the power saving modes and the auto dim feature, which is very nice. And in order to turn the unit off, you simply press it 3 times again on the main power button, so nothing new there. You can tell the status of the charge on the Loki Touch at all times because when it's plugged in, it's going to show you a battery symbol, and it's pretty intuitive. If the battery is full, then your battery is full. Another innovative feature that I like on the Loki Touch is the cleaning system, which I will let Kayroll explain.
So the cleaning system actually it comes with the cleaning tool. So you can see here, it's a nice little slender little tool. And the way this works is you would pop off the top. First you want to make sure your Loki Touch is off. There you go.
Powering off. It's off now.
Yeah, you don't want to get burned doing this. So you would remove the cap. I'm trying to do it with one hand.
Yeah, here's the mouthpiece.
Maybe dog. And then here at the bottom, or at the top I would say, you used your tool, your cleaning tool that it came with, and it's got a rubber tip, so you just use that part to take the screen part off.
And it's nice because they actually have a screen both by the mouthpiece on the Loki Touch
and the chamber.
Yeah, and on the chamber, so you're not really getting any particles pulled through into your mouth when you take a draw.
This thing is pretty cool too, the extra silicone that it comes with, that way, because the bottom part's always going to get super hot no matter what vaporizer you're using, so the fact that it comes with an extra silicone rubber piece is really cool, that way your hands don't get burned as you're taking your hit.
Yeah, it's nice they thought of that because it's right where the heating chamber is.
And then you would take the bottom part off. We actually have a oil pad.
Yeah, so the Loki Touch comes with an oil pad, which we'll get into in a little bit more detail. But the oil pad allows you to vaporize your concentrates, like your waxes or your oils, in addition to just doing dry herbs. So yes, the Loki Touch is both a dry herb and a concentrate vape, if anyone is wondering.
Yes.
So once you've removed the screen from the mouthpiece, you've removed the bottom.
There's also a screen at the bottom, so you remove the bottom screen.
So take both screens out.
And this is how you would clean your tool, your Loki Touch. You grab your tool, you stick it through the front, and then you make sure it comes out at the bottom. And then I just give it a few tugs in and out. Go ahead and
Yeah, just to show you guys here, it's pretty cool because
goes all the way through.
It just goes straight down, so it's almost as if you're ashing a bowl. You kind of just, stick it in your bowl and push it out into the ashtray. It's the same concept, they've just applied it now to a digital vaporizer. So it's a very familiar technique, and it's really a pretty nice way to clean the device.
Yeah, and then you're all done.
And then you'll have your clean ceramic chamber, and then you just put your screens back in and reassemble the unit how you had it before.
I would clean it every other time that I'm using my Loki Touch, just because you don't want it to get filled up and dirty, and you want to be taking a clean hit every time. So I clean it every other time I use my Loki.
It's called preventative maintenance.
He knows big words.
Yeah, it's big words for little devices. So when you put the screen back into, just make sure it lays flat. It'll make sense once you get the pieces in your hand. And then you'll put this back on. It even says hot down here, so that should indicate right away not to touch that. And then you put your guard back on so you don't burn yourself.
And then you want to put the top part on.
Yeah, put your mouthpiece back on and the mouth filter.
Oh, See, that was simple. I could do it with one hand.
Yeah, very simple. Everything on the top is silicone as well, so it just kind of fits right in. You don't have to force anything on. Like everything just kind of goes right into place. So.
Yep.
And
that's the Loki.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up the Loki from start to finish.
What's cool though is it also has some extra pieces. So in your Loki Touch, you'll also find two not mouth pieces. Which ones are these?
Those are the mouth screens.
Mouth screens. Two mouth screens, and then two chamber screens as well.
So again, you have kind of double filtration as far as preventing small particles going through the main chamber. We did talk about the oil pads, so that's what that looks like, and that goes in the chamber, which we'll show you more in depth as we take a concentrate hit out of the vaporizer in a minute here.
As we demonstrate.
As we demonstrate, which is my favorite part. As far as the contents, we've gone over everything. Again, it charges with a micro USB cable, which is very convenient.
Very common. Most American homes will have a USB charging cable.
Yeah, if you have an Android device or if you have something that charges, it most likely has a micro USB charging cable.
My Bluetooth speaker comes with the micro USB charger.
It's very simple to find and very convenient.
Very inexpensive as well if you lose the one that your Loki Touch comes with.
Yes. That covers all of the features of the Loki Touch and all of the contents that come straight out of the box. Now let's go ahead and talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and pack some dry herb in here. We'll show you how it hits with dry herb. And then we're going to pack some concentrates, which we got from a local legal dispensary because we are California medical patients. And we are going to try this berry white. Let's try some flour, let's try some concentrates, and see how this draws. Wick and Blake.
Kayroll.
And Blaze.
Meow. Say, hi, Blaze, meow.
Alright, so we're grinding up some fine herb.
Some OG. Because I know it was indica.
Fire flame.
Look, he wants some too.
A nice premium indica. Smells so good the dog needs to take a whiff.
But he won't be getting high.
Yeah, the dog does not smoke, ladies and gentlemen. No dogs were high in the making of this film. So this is what we're going to pack for the dry herb. Got a nice indica from California.
After you have some freshly grinded herbs, you go ahead and pack your Loki Touch.
And make sure you've already put the screen in before you start putting your dry herb in the chamber.
Yeah, you don't want to get crumbs in your hand. Although that's why they do have two screens to protect that.
But just to be
Prevent
safe.
that.
To do it the right way. And you don't want to overpack it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Because then it just kind of
doesn't heat evenly.
Yeah, it doesn't heat evenly, but it also makes it harder to get proper airflow.
Yeah.
So just pack it enough to where
you still see the white line.
You can still see the ceramic chamber, exactly.
And now, for some extra added goodness.
I'm going to throw a little keef into the dry herb chamber.
Why not?
Why not? Yeah, so make sure you're packing it in with whatever tool you're loading your chamber with. Because if you don't pack it down, it may seem like it's full when in actuality you've just barely covered the top of the chamber.
Just finished packing our Loki vape with some added keef on there, which is bound to taste amazing.
Optional. But recommended.
And then you press your Loki 3 times on the main power source, which can also change from Fahrenheit to Celsius, or vice versa.
If you press it twice, to clarify.
So we're just waiting for our previous desired temperature.
And it only takes, again, 30 seconds to warm up.
And it always turns blue when it's ready. Ooh, it's ready.
Yep, so it's ready to hit now. And one thing I noticed about this Loki Touch, it's got a very airy hit, so it's not as, narrow of a hit, if that makes sense, as like a pen or something of that nature.
Yeah.
Pretty decent cloud from it.
Yeah.
It's not too much, though, to where you're going to cough. It's just the right amount of vapor production per hit.
Just to get you the right amount of head change. Got a pretty decent hit too.
Yeah, and you can see it's just a light amount of vapor.
Very
Again,
light.
it's a very airy hit, which is kind of nice because a lot of them, it's too narrow of a mouth opening, so you get a very hot hit. This kind of spreads it out nice and evenly, so it's not too hot of a hit. And you'll notice as well the screen does dim. That way it doesn't waste any of the battery while you're hitting it. And if you want to see the screen illuminate, you just click the power button once. So again, it's a nice, consistent hit each time. It's not, a huge hit at first because it gets too hot, and then a small hit right after. They seem to be pretty even.
Yeah, I like it. And when you ash it out, you can tell it's all been burnt evenly. Vaporized evenly.
Even with some keef in there, it's not hitting too harshly. And you can go ahead and up the temperature if you want. Again, pressing or by swiping. See, it's going to go up by 10s if you swipe instead of 1s. And then if you hold it down, it's going to go by 2. Yeah, and the battery, as you can see, is getting low. But I only charged it for about 5 minutes before using this, so that's pretty good, to be honest.
We haven't stopped using it since we turned it back on.
Yeah, and it's blue, so it's ready to hit again.
Nice.
So again, if you crank the temperature up, you'll see a larger cloud. I just wanted to do that visually for you guys to see that it's not always going to be a light vapor hit. If you keep it around 385, it will be a little lighter. And this is right around 430 degrees, so that's why you get a bit of a bigger cloud with that, but it's not always everyone's desire to get a large cloud.
I think that was the last of it.
Yeah, I think that's the last for the session, but that was pretty good. We got about 3 to 4 pretty standard hits out of that, out of one packed chamber. We did add a little keef, but nothing too crazy in there, so you should be able to have a nice little session with one packed bowl out of this between 2 people. And you can see the vaporized herb come out the bottom, and it should be a kind of a brown consistent color, which it seems to be. There's a little green tint left, which is okay. We don't want to, over vaporize, but again, this isn't going to burn your material, so we could have probably left it in there for another hit or 2. But if you want to keep the flavor optimal, I'd say around 3 hits per person for one session.
What do you say we try the wax now? The concentrate.
Alright guys, so yeah, now you have seen how the vapor production on the Loki Touch is with dry herb. Let's go ahead and try it with some concentrates with the oil pad.
Yes, my favorite part.
Alright buds, now we're going to go ahead and try out some of the concentrate in the Loki Touch and see how it hits.
I'm going to put a lot of concentrate on this just to test out our little oil pad.
Here's the oil pad.
Since it is its first time use. See, you said soak it up first, right?
Yeah, so we're going to load some of the concentrate on the oil pad, and then we're going to drop the oil pad into the ceramic chamber. So here's the filter.
This oil pad, nice and packed.
Yep. So we're loading the concentrates facing
down
the filter.
I believe we had it at the max temperature just because concentrates do require a little extra heat.
Alright, there we go. And we'll see how the concentrates hit out of the Loki Touch.
I definitely felt a hit that time. That was amazing, actually. Very smooth. Wow. I really like that. Oh, I have all the flavor in that. That's exactly what I wanted. You can taste the crips on it.
Yeah, very flavorful hit. Yeah, it's a very very terpy hit. Looks like the first hit on that one is going to be a lot stronger.
Yep.
But I mean, I was pretty happy with the nice flavorful hit that I got. It wasn't hot. I got to taste the full terpene profile of the concentrates. It's really nice, actually.
Yeah.
it did a pretty good job of
vaporizing
all the concentrate in there. There's a little left in the chamber, but it's all clear. It doesn't, drip or build up anywhere. So yeah, overall, it hits very nicely with both dry herb and concentrates. And you can find this for $159.99. You can find it on gotvape.com. So this is the Loki Touch. Go ahead and find it on gotvape.com. And this is Blaze, everyone. We just wanted to get him in here for a little goodbye.
Bye. He loves the Loki Touch.
So overall, very happy with the Loki Touch. I would recommend buying it at $159 for a touchscreen vaporizer that can do both dry herb and concentrates. It's a very good value for the product, and I would say it's about a 8.5 out of 10, simply due to the fact that you have to play around with it a little bit to get used to it, but it's a great device overall, and I really didn't have any huge negative or cons in this case with this product. So overall, 8.5 out of 10, Loki Touch, gotvape.com. I'm Wake and Blake.
And I'm Kayroll. And this is Blaze.
And let's talk about it.